Frame now underway as the puck drops. Fowler stick handling in his own zone.
Hi there, this is Anthony with FourScarsGaming.com bringing you a review for NHL 22 on the PS5 published by EA Sports. EA Sports has been releasing hockey games since before a Canadian team has won the Stanley Cup, so basically forever ago. Each year we get a new game with a fresh face of the franchise on the cover and promises that this game will be better than the last. This is a big year for NHL. It's the first foray into the new generation of consoles, and yet the cover player is a repeat in Austin Matthews, who was the cover athlete for NHL 20. Is the NHL's first time on next generation consoles just a repeat as well? Are players getting more than a 4K enabled roster update? Let's skate on some hopefully thick ice and find out.
James, it's one of those things you look up and say, yeah, good enough.
The biggest change to NHL this year is the new Frostbite Engine. The NHL game series had been lagging behind its sports counterparts because of this, and the old game engine was starting to show its limitations. EA finally decided to bring the NHL franchise up to speed and overhaul everything to fit the new Frostbite engine. What does this mean for NHL exactly? Basically, wholesale improvements across the board. Better graphics, physics, player interactions, resolution, just a whole lot of good. With this change, NHL 22 has a definite ramp up in the gameplay department. Year to year, the NHL series would make baby steps with minor tweaks and new animations, but I'm pleased to say this game plays very differently than its previous versions. The Frostbite engine gives everything a bit more added weight. Sticks don't just magically go through players anymore, and are more subject to the current laws of physics. Well, at least last time I checked anyways. Passing seems to have been brought back to a more realistic level. Gone are the days of machine gunning the puck between players. If you're not in a good position to make a pass, chances are that pass won't connect. Defending seems much more effective as well. If you're in position or in a passing lane, you'll more than likely be able to disrupt the opposing team. The cross-crease goals that seem to be the bread and butter of the franchise are much harder to pull off because of this. I can probably count on one hand the amount of cross-crease goals I was able to score. This created a fun challenge as I had to actually work for my goals, not just look for the same opportunities again and again. That's not to say there aren't ways to cheese the game. There are some tried and true ways to score goals that haven't been cleaned up, but for the most part, playing hockey just felt fun again. I also have to give a direct mention to the DualSense controllers. It adds another element to the game. When a player's skating, you can feel the skates grinding on each side of the controller. When a player's tired, the pass button is harder to press. I was surprised at how different the games felt with these minor sensory additions. Everything I've mentioned on gameplay combines to make NHL feel extremely fresh. As a veteran of the NHL series, and someone who mostly plays single-player offline modes, this was a welcome change of pace. If you're a person who's interested in the gameplay aspect of NHL, you'll not be disappointed. EA has made a new augmented reality broadcast. Occasionally during a game, you will see stats pop up on the ice or the penalty box. It looks very sleek and is a nice change up considering the old transition animations were starting to show their age. The menu system, on the other hand, is lackluster. It feels bare bones and is a bit hard to look at, to be honest. They really needed to do a better job of this. NHL 22 is packaged with essentially the exact same game modes as NHL 21. It seemed like it's not a big deal until you remember when NHL transitioned to the previous generation in NHL 15. EA seemed to have removed a large portion of their game modes and have been clawing their way back ever since. In NHL 22, you're getting Hockey Ultimate Team, World of Chel, Be a Pro, Franchise Mode, and some other quick play modes. Although nothing has been added to this repertoire, there are still many options for players. The biggest change coming to the NHL franchise will be the addition of the highly requested custom rosters. Why is this so exciting? Well, is there a particular season of hockey that you'd like to play? For example, the 2004 playoff run as the Calgary Flames. Maybe you want to simulate the 1995-96 season and see what would have happened if Patrick Waugh was never traded off from the Canadiens. The possibilities are endless. With all that being said, what exactly are you getting that's new for each of the modes mentioned above? Let's talk quickly about the biggest new addition to the NHL series in the X Factor. The newly implemented X Factors are abilities given to superstars that separate them from a standard player. There are 6 categories of these X Factors that are broken into skating, shooting, passing, hockey IQ, defending, and goaltending. For example, Nathan MacKinnon, arguably one of the fastest skaters in the NHL, has an ability called Ankle Breaker. This allows him to deke at full speed without any movement or handling penalties. Austin Matthews has an ability called Shock and Awe, where he gets a power and accuracy boost when coming out of a deke. Throughout my playthrough, I didn't find myself leaning on these abilities very much. I enjoyed that there was a separation made from a superstar and a normal player, but it didn't change the way I played. I think having the top tier players differentiated with these abilities is a step in the right direction. Gone are the days of a 4th line grinder doing a 360 toe drag no scope into the top corner. Unless of course you're playing Hockey Ultimate Team and have Crosby on your 4th line. Overall, NHL 22 shines in its overhauled gameplay. Although there aren't new features or sweeping updates to the existing gameplay modes, there's a lot of fun to be had on the Frostbite Engine, and there's a good reason to get excited for the upcoming roster sharing edition. The new X Factor traits are a nice touch and a step in the right direction for giving players a more realistic and personalized touch, but it doesn't change the overall flow of the game enough to warrant it being a selling feature. When you have the puck with Connor McDavid, a 95 overall rated player, does him having the X Factor wheels really make him stand out any more than he already does? Not really. If you have a last-gen console, the X Factor edition of NHL 22 offers a dual entitlement option as well as a hut migration. If you're looking for the next-gen experience of hockey, it's finally here. See you on the ice, and keep it locked on fourscarsgaming.com for more gaming news and reviews.